What's up, Wikimaniacs? On today's episode, we have a husband who is embarrassed by his wife's sexuality, a wife who wants to end her marriage, an OP fakes giving birth, a wife hijacks her husband's free vacation, a husband thinks he funds his wife's lifestyle, and a husband considers divorce after coming home late from work. For the Patreon exclusive stories, we have a girlfriend who is too wet, and an OP breaks his leg while his girlfriend breaks his heart. If those sound interesting to you and you want day early and ad-free episodes, head on over to patreon.com/Cultivate Podcast Network or sign up for our YouTube members page. Reddit on Wiki starts now.
Get therapy.
I'm not ready.
Get
What's up, Wikimaniacs? It's your boy Josh here. Joined for another Am I the Asshole Friday. Joined with me, of course, are my two co-hosts, John and Sean.
Say it. Say who we are, Josh.
My co-hosts. My lovely co-hosts.
No.
Handsome.
Come on, Chief Ethnic Officer. Say it.
We're Browns, Josh.
All I gotta say is, I cannot wait till that bonus story. Too wet.
Too wet, yeah. Knew that one was good.
Too
Yeah.
wet.
Yeah, John will not be able to focus until we get to the Patreon.
I'm done. Like, I'm just calling it asshole, not the asshole. I'm just flip-flopping until it gets to the
Until
wet
you get to
story.
the important part, yeah.
Yeah. That's the most important part. Me and Sean fist bumped
I did
already,
fist bump.
like, off camera. But you know what I'm saying? I can't wait.
So this is actually a monumental Am I the Asshole Friday. Because it's the
so?
first one where I'm in my 30s, technically, when this comes out.
Whoa.
Peek behind the scenes, it's before I'm 30, but I will be 30 when it comes out. So
Call to action. Greet Josh. Happy birthday.
now call to action, say go Leafs go in the comments because it's playoffs as well, baby. Let's go.
Go Leafs, go,
do that till-
baby.
Wait. Yeah, sure. Let's do that.
And then I will talk about it on ESP Sean whenever that.
Hell yeah.
Dun-dun-dun.
Da-da-da.
I also went live on YouTube last week,
Whoa.
and
I'm
think,
sure it crushed it.
I hope so. As we're talking, it's tomorrow, but yeah.
Have we announced that anywhere or is it a surprise?
Surprise.
I'm just going to kind of do it. It's mostly a test because we want to do more going forward.
This is true.
We're doing a live stream for Patreon and members only next week, I think.
I believe so.
Coming
Coming up.
that should be super fun. But then, yeah, we want to do more just regular live streams as well. I have time on my hands and the boys don't. So it's one way for us to create more content for you.
What is time and how can we procure that?
That's the endless question, I think.
Jeebus.
Scholars for years have been trying to decipher that. But we won't get into that because I don't want an existential crisis on my first 30th birthday episode. So we'll hop into the first story if you guys are ready.
Wait, before you do that, there's something we got to
merch.
announce. There you go. Octa merch available right now. Reddit on wikishop.com. Your favorite roach queen, the sultry Octa. Buy it, rock her, support her.
Yes, we love Agtha and this merch.
Yeah.
And anyone
Shout
that
out
buys
to
it.
Janelle at Fat Lip for the awesome design, by the way.
Hell yeah. Good call out, John. Good call out. But now we're ready for the first story.
Now we're ready.
Let's do it.
Hop into it.
All right. So this one cross-posted by Salamander Neither 695. And the title for this one is, Am I the Asshole for not telling people at my new job that my wife is bi?
I don't think it's
think-
their business.
Yeah. I don't know. I would not be discussing my wife's sexuality at all.
Anything. I would
Right?
not be discussing my wife in general.
Yeah.
Well, I think talking about your partner is fine. But their
Y'all
sexuality.
don't need to know. Yeah. Any private details you don't need to know.
Yeah,
You're my
that's fair.
coworkers, not my fucking buddies.
I mean, some people have friends with their coworkers, but yeah, I agree
I
with
do,
you on this.
but
On the
I still
surface.
don't.
All right. So my wife, 36 female, and I, 35 male, have been married for a little more than 5 years. She realized she was bisexual last year and came out to me and our friends and family earlier this year. I started a new job in March, And my wife asked if I would be comfortable telling my new coworkers that she is bisexual. I told her I'd think about it and see what the vibe in the office is. To me, that doesn't seem like anyone's business. And I can also see how that might be inappropriate or creep people out, which I think I agree with.
Yeah. I mean, even if you're telling people, yeah, my wife is straight, and be like, okay, brother, like, oh,
It's just, that's weird too.
Why?
It's like, okay,
Why?
why the fuck do I need
You
to know
just
about this
started.
shit?
why are you telling us this?
Yeah.
I guess I know who I'm not having lunch with. That guy's weird.
Do you guys know that guy's wife is straight? That's crazy. My wife and I had another conversation about it tonight, and it got heated when I told her I still haven't told anyone at my job. It's not relevant to my job. There hasn't been any opening to bring it up naturally in conversation. And it really doesn't seem like any of their business to me.
You watched the game last night? My wife is bisexual. Okay.
Hey, did you get that report in? My wife is bisexual, and no.
Oh.
Okay. She asked me if I'm ashamed of her, and I said no, because I'm not.
Yeah.
She said it feels like I don't really believe that she is bisexual. I said,
What?
I said, I'm sorry she feels that way because of course I believe her. I have no reason not to. I said, I just don't think it's anyone's business. She told me she's already out to her coworkers. And I said, I was glad for her coming out to her coworkers, who she's known for years now. But it's different than me outing her when I haven't even been at my job for a whole 4 weeks yet. We went back and forth on this for like an hour before we called a timeout, and she went to bed and I went for a walk. It's not that I'm ashamed. It's not that I think she's lying for attention. It's not even that I think either of us will get judged or treated unfairly for it. It's just that I don't think it's anyone's business, and it would be weird to just say it out of the blue. My direct boss and 2 senior people on my team are also women, and I don't want them to think I'm proposing anything weird or inappropriate by telling them. In brackets, my wife says that's ridiculous, but I know if a woman I barely knew told me out of the blue that her husband was bisexual, I would think she's trying to set something up. I love my wife, and I do support her, but her being bi has nothing to do with my job, and there honestly hasn't been any organic opening in conversation at work where me telling everyone about it would make any sense. I told her I'd put up a bisexual flag pin during Pride Month, but she just rolled her eyes at that. Should I be doing more, and am I the asshole?
No. And I think you're absolutely right. It's no one's business. Shit, if I were you, if you're going to have like, you're pretty new to your job, right? Like chances are you're going to be doing a lot of meet and greets, a lot of Zoom meetings, icebreaker, 2 truths and a lie. Hit that shit. Like give one, just give that a snare. My wife is bisexual. I like coffee. I have 2 dogs, which is a lie. People are going to be like, your wife's bisexual is a lie?
I hate coffee.
My wife is bisexual.
I'm more of a tea drinker. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
What do you think, Sean?
I think this is just because, it's the same way if she was straight or, or if y'all, let's say something else, like not sexuality, but let's just say like you were in a polyamorous situation. There's not, it's just, when would you bring that up to your workplace?
Yeah.
Not that there's anything inherently wrong with either of those things, but I'm just never talking about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just can't imagine like my coworkers just talking to me about their sex life or their wife's sexuality or their husband's sexuality. I would just be like, I mean, cool. I'm all for, being open. I just, it seems random unless we're very close, and probably in 4 weeks, he's not very close. I don't know what she wants him to do. Maybe like an email in his little signature,
my wife's bi.
Financial officer, husband of bisexual wife. I don't know what is.
Hey, I will say like he's doing the right thing though, because had he broached that to someone else and someone happens to be like, yo, I'm creeped out by this.
Yeah, that's HR.
Technically
right?
sexual harassment right there, because it's like I don't need to know this. I'm uncomfortable about this. This is like sexuality that they're talking about. I'm uncomfortable. 4 weeks in, they could probably be like, oh well, you kind of fucked up your 4 weeks
for
in.
Termination.
It's grounds for termination for some places, and a lot of places are at will state, and they're just like, you're just not a cultural fit for us because you just fucking creep people out. So I don't see where, like OP said, I don't see where organically where this can be had in a conversation. Even if, let's say, it's a company party, Christmas party, and she's there with you, that's still weird to broach. Be like, hey, nice to meet you. I'm bisexual, by the way.
Yeah.
That's still weird.
Maybe if you got like, I don't know, like a sticker on your car. I don't know what stickers they have. My wife's bisexual.
I mean, you could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you do with that situation.
He's in a lose-lose situation.
Yeah.
To be honest. He sounds supportive as fuck. He wants to do all these things
Yeah,
to
because
make her happy, but
it's like, why
the
would
request is wild.
why would I not believe her? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It doesn't like it has nothing to do with her bisexuality. It's like it'd be the same if like his wife was straight and was just like, hey, make sure
Tell
I
everyone
tell
I'm
everyone at the
straight.
office I'm straight.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I would never bring that up in an office. Even us, like we're close friends. Like because it's a different work environment we have. Like if it came up organically and Sienna was bisexual, I'd let you know. But that's not like it's not something that organically comes up in conversation. You know, in that type of way, in a work environment.
I imagine Sienna on the treadmill being like, what the fuck are they talking about?
What are you talking about? Everyone's reaction just would be like at work, be like,
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
literally
Yeah.
just like, okay, that was a strange interaction.
Yeah. So I get him not wanting to just
I wonder
out
if
of the blue drop that, but
if her work
yeah.
environment is like a very like open, maybe like younger,
But it's also
median
different.
age, maybe like a different like, you know, I don't know, just at like a
she has
very
nothing to
liberal
do
company.
with the work environment, though. So that's the thing.
Yeah,
It's like,
I don't
there's
know.
no reason.
I'm just saying
to
maybe
announce
her
that.
only work experience is in like chiller places and he's like working in a corporate, maybe older people are there. He's like, it just seems out of the blue to just bring up.
Yeah.
Well, I even beyond that, I think it's a little bit different when it's you coming out to people, and she's worked at this company for years, so she probably has friends, and so she probably sees them more as friends than coworkers, which is a dangerous game to play, obviously. But like that's a completely different scenario. She's comfortable with the people she's telling. It's also, you know, her sexuality she's talking to people about. So
Yeah.
there's probably more cases where that's organic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, what'd you do this weekend? Oh, I came out. You know what I mean? Like way different than your husband just out of the blue dropping that. So I don't know.
I mean, I guess he could answer that the same way. Like, what'd you do this weekend? Oh, my wife came out. I guess that would be the only natural way. But also, you've only been there 4 weeks.
That is,
Yeah.
that is still
It's a
something
stretch.
that it's just, it's definitely a stretch. It's just one of those things where it's too private for anyone to really give a damn about
yeah. Or should care about anyway.
or should care about. Yeah.
Yeah. Most of Reddit deemed not the asshole. It was on one of the ones that doesn't have the flair, so I didn't know 100%, but most of the comments were like, yeah, that seems bizarre of an ask for her.
Yeah.
But many people were speculating that she's probably feeling like insecure and maybe like it's, you know, her
Which is
own-
fair. That's a
common
that's
thing.
very vulnerable. It's a
Absolutely.
very vulnerable position she's in for coming out. But
Yeah, 100%.
it's a situation that's just not warranted.
No,
for
no.
it.
Yeah. And then curious lower score opposite lower score 917 said, I'm struggling to think of a situation at work where this might be appropriate and relevant to mention this. To which Unpeachable Taint said, congratulations, OP, for the great work on your last project. Thanks, boss. I couldn't have done it without my bisexual wife's support. That seems natural.
So strange.
Oh God.
So yeah.
Yeah. The only thing I
CC
can think
everyone
of
while you're at it.
is bumper sticker.
Yeah, or the pride flag that he was talking about
Yeah, that's
anyway.
also a good
Or
thing.
Or a
bisexual
coffee
flag.
mug.
Yeah.
If you're in a little coffee mug and people, you just happen to hold the handle, people see it. If someone asks, cool. If they don't,
Yeah.
don't say anything.
It's like a
Sure.
if you know,
Yeah.
you know type deal.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. So this next one is cross posted by back-to-back Salamander Neither 695. I'll give him the go.
Back
for the
to back.
back-to-back.
Go
We'd love to see
back to
that.
back.
Mm-hmm.
So this one is, am I overreacting for ending my marriage?
Oh,
Depends. There's a lot of fuck ups that could have been done in marriages. So maybe you didn't announce to the world that your wife's bisexual. So
And that's valid.
I'll say, just statistic wise, there's a lot of valid reasons that people could say is overreacting, but only you can say if it is overreacting or not.
Mhm.
Only you can
That's
prevent
true.
forest fires.
That's right, Smokey. So I'll go not the asshole.
I'm gonna go with Sean here.
All right. So my husband and I have a reoccurring problem in our marriage.
Mm.
He has consistently put other women's needs before mine.
Well, then, goddamn, that's not
not
overreacting,
overreacting
girl.
at
What
all.
the fuck?
And not just any women, only attractive ones.
Bitch, girl, you in the right already. What the fuck?
I think we can
Why
end
did you
the
think of
story.
yourself as attractive? Man, this whole story's over.
We're done.
Story's done.
Well, she didn't say she wasn't attractive, just that he puts other attractive women's
Oh,
needs
well,
ahead of hers.
you
You know?
You a bad bitch yourself, I bet. So, like, fuck this dude.
I am totally fine with him being attracted to other women, and I get that that's normal. I'll even check out random strangers with him, not a problem. The only problem is that when we are around other pretty women, he ignores me. In the past, he's told me he didn't want to spend $60 on something to help me have not have a panic attack. Then the next week, he wanted to buy a $60 birthday present for his female hairdresser.
Bitch, bitch. If you don't fucking, what are you talking about? I would never. Well, I mean, my barber's my homie. I would probably buy him a nice birthday gift. But I don't.
A panic attack?
I don't think
We're in a birthday.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
spend more money on my barber than I would my wife from a panic
Yeah.
attack, an emergency.
Cheap.
Or refused to walk me to the car when I left a party, but walked a group of girls out later to keep them safe. Stuff like this happens all the time.
Boy, if you don't get your ass in order.
We've done 5 years of therapy and he still denies it's an issue. I've worked with him. I've forgiven him each time.
Hell no.
Dump the motherfucker.
Yep. In January, I had my friend and her boyfriend over for game night. They were there for about 4 hours. The first 90 minutes, my husband paid attention to no one but her. I didn't exist. It was like watching them two on a date in my own home. I kicked him under the table to get his attention, and he didn't notice. I went to the bathroom and cried.
He got
and
laser
he's-
focused, bro.
Damn,
like
he's down bad.
Jordan, it's like Jordan Poole baddies around the arena right now.
I went to the bathroom and cried, and he still didn't notice.
Fuck.
What was the boyfriend thinking? Like, this is weird.
For real? That way I would square up, bro.
This last weekend, we went on a trip with friends. I told him I could tell he was attracted to one girl that and that I didn't like the way he acted towards her. Mainly that when we were all outside, I kept mentioning how cold it was and he did nothing, which is fine. I didn't expect him to do anything. But as soon as she said she was cold, he jumped up and turned the heater on beside her. Damn, Jackie, I can't control the weather.
Yeah, I was thinking the
unless
same
it's
thing.
hot.
Damn, Jackie, I'm
That's
gonna
a
be
one
cold
reference
too.
I had.
He said he'd fix his behavior towards her. A few hours later, it's just the three of us on the porch. I was obviously uncomfortable and said we should go inside. At first, he said he was fine to stay. Then he saw my face and said he'd go in too.
He said, I'm fine to stay is wild. I'm going to go in. Yeah, you should. You should
Yeah.
absolutely.
See ya.
You should.
The girl was going to join us and she mentioned, should we turn the heater off? I said, I'm sure that she's got it. It has one knob and turns high to low or off. It's not hard. I turn around at the door and my husband is facing away from me side by side with this chick, helping her turn it off. Later on, by the fire, she made a comment that it needs more wood, and he immediately hopped up to get it. I think he's simping for these pretty women, and in turn,
he is.
often ignoring my own needs. He thinks he's just being a nice guy and only helped her with the heater because she's, quote, useless. He doesn't take responsibility for his actions. There's always an excuse. He seems to think I'm overreacting because I want to leave him. After 5 years of this and trying to work on it, it's clear he'll never admit to his actions are a problem. I'm hoping the Reddit community can set one or both of us straight. So am I overreacting?
Hell no.
Hell no.
Hell
Apparently
no.
chivalry isn't dead for this guy unless it's for his wife.
Yeah, that's insane to me.
Dude.
Put your wife's needs behind anyone else's is crazy.
No, not anyone else's.
Sorry.
Just the pretty ones.
Just
Particularly
girls he finds attractive.
girls he finds
pretty
attractive.
girls. Yeah.
Like, what white knighting bullshit? Just like, I want to help out. These pretty girls. And simping is the correct term for that. So she nailed that.
Well, I wonder what his end goal really is with these girls. Like, if you're going like above and beyond, like, is this person cheating at this point?
Yeah.
I think
emotionally.
I think he wants a reason to cheat.
I'm sure if someone gave him the reason.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If somebody was like, gave him the opportunity to cheat, I think he would be down.
Bet. He's like, bet.
Because he's down bad.
Dude. Hey, I'm going to get up and go. Yeah, you should. You should.
See ya.
That's wild.
Hey, I'm cold. All right.
That's
what do you want me to do about it?
Damn, Jackie.
Other
having
girl.
a panic attack. Hey, just calm down.
Other girl, I'm cold. Here's my jacket. Here's the heater.
We need
That's
more
just wild,
firewood.
bro.
Fucking chop.
Do you want me to hold you?
Chopping shit.
Takes his shirt off to do it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's
What a
wild.
piece of shit.
Yeah, that's divorce.
Yeah,
5
leave
years
that fool, man.
is way too long
To
to
put up with
forgive.
that shit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So more power to
You a
you for
patient
trying.
person.
You tried your best. It is time to go.
Yeah.
If you want to be petty, do that to like hot dudes that you find attractive. Just show out. If you want to fuck around too,
Oh, and
I'm saying.
I know for a fact he'd be the type of guy
Don't be
who'd be like,
jealous.
oh, what you flirting with that guy for? Yeah.
Exactly. He seems like the type.
Yeah, give him a taste of his own medicine. Fuck it.
But leave him.
It might
But
also
leave
be
him.
too stupid to realize as well. Though.
That's true. Or he'll be like,
That's
this
true.
is my out. I can finally leave. So she throws in edit. Wow, thank you all very much. It's very validating to hear the same insight from strangers that I've been saying for years. My husband is very kind to me in private, and there's a lot that I love about him and our relationship, but I can't live forever with this one issue ongoing. Thank you all for the feedback. And then there is a quick update. She said, I asked him if it would help knowing other people shared my opinion. He said yes. So I read him the post and asked him if this sounded like an accurate summary of our issues. And he said yes. So I showed him, so he agreed to everything.
But he's not going to do anything about it.
So I showed him the thread and he said he felt like I had colored it in a certain way. And that I did change the fact that, well, some of his actions weren't okay and some of them were perfectly fine and that I shouldn't be so upset with them.
So he knows it's problematic, but he doesn't want to acknowledge that he's the problem.
Kind of. He's saying like, yeah, some of them weren't okay. Some
Like
of them
they're
were
justified?
fine. Some of them were justified, is what he's saying, and then that she should also not be upset. So,
I did fuck up a few times, but don't be mad.
yeah, but you should get over it.
Bitch.
We have 2 therapy sessions next week. Hopefully, one of them can talk some sense into him before it's too late. And I've got to say,
It's
been
5
years.
It's been 5 years.
and he's still not getting it.
That old dog ain't learning new tricks.
And hundreds of comments saying
Holy
he was in the
shit.
wrong, and he's still like, well, you shouldn't be upset about it.
Oh,
Crazy.
That's a
God.
pretty fair and accurate way that you wrote it.
But also,
2 comments
also get
later.
over it.
Wait, no, you painted me in a bad light.
Mayet said, my best friend's dad was like this, would give the t-shirt off his back for strangers, but never had those same actions towards his family. He gets a call from his friend that he needs to be bailed out of jail. He'll send him the money. Then has to call his daughter to borrow said money because his unemployment didn't come in. He is now divorced and all of his children don't speak to him. This guy doesn't care who he hurts as long as he gets to feel like a little savior.
I'm simping for my wife and my wife only.
Yeah.
God damn.
I truly don't understand the other reasoning. Like,
Yeah, I was
Seriously.
like, which ones are okay to him?
yeah.
That's true. Well, I wonder what that was either.
Oh, fuck. All right. The next one we got here, cross-posted by the GOAT, Mary Gets 2011.
Bah.
And this one is, am I the asshole for faking my giving birth?
Ooh.
If this is for PTO, then no, do you, girl?
No, a lot of people said
Well,
we
you
were
know-
fucked up for agreeing with that guy.
Were we? Oh, shit.
Not a lot of people, but some people, like, I mean, we were in jest. I think, most
Technically-
of that.
Technically, it's fraud, but I encourage it. Fuck
A lot of people were like, oh, now this just gives corporate the reason to crack down on not giving paternity leave. And I'm like, I mean,
Paternity.
they already do crack down.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what you mean.
You gotta like give your arm and leg to fucking even get a day off sometimes.
Yeah.
So I have no sympathy for corporate.
Yeah, us laughing about a situation where a guy is getting
Getting away with it.
paid time off is, not the issue, I think.
Nope.
But what do you guys think about this one?
This could go
Maybe
any
it's
sort
free
of way.
PTO.
If it's free PTO, not the asshole. I feel like
But if they're pretending they're pregnant the whole time, then yeah, that's some evil shit.
That's tough.
Yeah.
9 months of
Yeah.
lies is wild. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm looking at statistic wise. There's probably more reasons why this is fucked up than not. So I will say asshole.
Or it could probably be like that situation where like they need to, for some reason, insurance might kick in a certain way if they go to the hospital earlier or some shit like that, a la Pam
Oh,
in
yeah.
a
on
gym
The Office.
situation. So maybe I'm just gonna lean on that. I'm going not the asshole for this one.
All right. So I'll keep this as short as possible. I, 25 female, am pregnant with the baby due in a couple of days.
Oh,
Okay.
My husband, 25 male, promised that he would be the one to drive me to the hospital and that he will be glued to his phone until birth. He works only 10 minutes away from our home and his boss agreed to let him go when the birth happens.
I see where this is going.
The problem is my mother-in-law. My husband and her have an unhealthy, in my opinion, strong bond, and she is overly involved in our relationship, which has caused many issues in the past.
Yuck.
She requires his attention every day. She's suggested moving in with us ever since I became pregnant. She's also had emergencies whenever we have anniversaries, important occasions like my birthday, etc. As the date is approaching, I became increasingly worried that his mother will have an emergency during birth and I will have trouble getting to the hospital or will be forced to be alone during it. I voiced my concerns and it caused fights between me and them. I even suggested asking my best friend to drive me to keep me company as I'm scared of giving birth, but it was shot down with a, how can't you trust your own husband?
Because you're a mama's boy.
So I'm not proud of it, but I faked birth yesterday. I called my husband at work, told him it started, and he said he will be right there. After half an hour, I called to ask him where he was, and he didn't answer. After almost an hour, he called me to say that he is in the hospital with his mom because guess what? She's having a medical emergency. Apparently, he called to tell her I am giving birth, and she got a heart attack from excitement. He said he will have to miss my birth and actually asked me to call my friend to drive me and stay with me.
The way I would divorce tonight.
Oh, yeah, that's insanity. Oh, there's Artie. I admit it, I was very angry and heartbroken. So I told him I wasn't actually giving birth and that it was a test that showed me how he would actually behave versus what he said he would do, and that it proved he was always care for his mother more than his own wife who's carrying his child. He was very angry and even blamed me for his mother's heart attack in that moment.
Shit.
His mom, of course, didn't have a heart attack, but a false alarm. I felt very justified, but now that we talked, I feel guilty. He said he feels manipulated and gaslit.
You deserve
As
it.
he's manipulating and gaslighting. Oh, I didn't even notice they're fighting.
Cats
Yeah.
fighting.
Hey, behave.
That's all I'm watching.
That just because his mother lied about the emergency doesn't mean I should lie to him. He said that marriage is built on trust, so I have to trust him instead of lying to prove a point. He even said that he didn't choose me over his own mother, but a bigger emergency, and that he knew I could handle getting to the hospital, but his mother needed him more, and that a heart attack is more serious. I pointed out that she lied, but he said he couldn't have known that, and that I was just as bad for lying. I feel like I'm going crazy. Am I the asshole?
I'm gonna go nah on this one. Even okay. I'm not calling her an asshole, but what she did is very justifiable to me because she saw a pattern. There's a pattern of like behavior from the mom, and first of all, the mom is unhinged as shit. If I
Yes.
was OP, if I'm not divorcing this husband right now because it seems like he's gonna be teen mom forever, I'd suggest we're moving the fuck away, even if it's a city away or at least like some sort of distance for that to not be an issue going forward. But to to say like her situation or OP situation is not as severe as the mom's when the mom has a history of faking shit or like having those quote unquote emergencies. The fact that you don't side with your wife at such an occasion where she probably communicated so many times that, hey, I'm afraid of childbirth, and you shushed it and brushed it away, dude deserves to be divorced at this point.
100%. Yeah.
Part of me is like, if there was no pattern and, she had a fake heart attack that she thought was a real heart attack, that's a tough situation to be in. But given that there is a history of these fake flare-ups every time something important is happening, and this is kind of similar to, the does he fuck from Monday, like testing your partner. So to which, we said some of these are okay. Most of these are terrible. And this is definitely a manufactured scenario, but this has, I think it's different when there's already a history of it there. You know what I mean? You kind of already know
the probable cause.
Yeah, there's
and she's voiced like concern about this
times
already.
Yep.
And they just proved her point. So
it's crazy. I could get it if he was like, she brought it up and he was like, yeah, you know what? Like my mom is sick. I wouldn't want to like leave her alone if something happened. So maybe it is a good idea just to have like a plan B. But instead, both he and his mom gaslit the fuck out of her and be like, you can't trust your husband? What's up with that? That's so weird. And then immediately they both proved that she should not trust her husband. So I don't, part of me is like, oh man, that is a tough situation. Your mom's having a heart attack and your wife's giving birth. What do you do? Obviously you got to be there for your wife, but you got to figure out, how to get your mom to safety. But if she does this literally like on your wife's birthday or on your anniversary with your wife, then it seems like it's probably fake.
Yeah.
I do see where it's a tough situation, but absolutely insane for, this to happen so many times and then to brush off her concerns whenever she does bring it up.
It's not a tough situation for me. Fuck those two.
I'm with Josh on this.
I wish she had a real heart attack. I'll say it.
Wait, so if your mom had a heart attack when Sienna was giving birth, you'd be like, I gotta go, Mom.
Yeah, absolutely. You can die during childbirth.
No, you can die during both, but like,
right.
I don't know.
But my mom has my dad. You know what I mean? Or like other family. So it's like,
hard to compare that type of situation because like this one is so obviously there's like a pattern.
Yeah, this one's
so
fake.
of course
the
bias is already there.
I'm just saying
like,
if there was no pattern, it's a terrible situation to be in.
Oh, for sure. It's a tough situation. But like I have no sympathy with the mom and husband in this situation.
In this particular situation, with all the evidence of history and everything, an easy choice would be made.
Yeah.
I'm just saying in general, that would be a tough one, is what I'm saying.
Oh, definitely.
Don't hear what I'm not saying. I'm not saying, oh yeah, if the mom faked it all the time, of course I would, go make sure my wife gave birth. But a first time scenario, like, and there's nobody else.
Scary.
That's scary.
Yeah.
That's a scary situation.
It's tough.
That is tough.
But that's not the case with this story. So
no, not at all.
For sure.
I was just trying to give him some sympathy, but he really deserves none.
Yeah, and I'll dial back the I wish she actually had a heart attack. I'll dial that back.
I've had some time to think. I kind of went a little far though.
Welcome to my world, Josh.
I'd like to make a statement. Fuck peanut allergies, right, guys? Oh fuck. Yeah, Reddit deemed not the asshole.
I've had some real life friends come up to me and be like, I heard what you said.
You fucker.
You want me to die, motherfucker? And I was like, it's a bit, brother.
Is it?
As he's munching on like peanut butter or some shit.
I just blow some.
It's like, you want protein?
Munchkins, lower score, and Dragon said, honestly, after this stunt, I probably wouldn't even be planning to tell him I went into labor anymore. His mom is going to drama things up, so he misses it anyway. So I just cut the middleman out and save myself some stress. And save herself some stress.
Yeah.
Buffy wannabe 13 responded to that and said, the way I would just give birth and not tell him until the baby was in my arms. So I could text him, baby is here. You can come visit now. Sorry, I didn't say anything earlier. I didn't want to give your mom another heart attack.
Bam.
I love that. That's the way.
Yeah, that's 100%.
And then leave. And then leave
She
immediately.
delivered and delivered. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. She served and delivered.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hell yeah. I think that's probably the safest way because then, you know, payback. You're probably not going to be there anyway, dude. So
Yeah.
why you missed the initial fake birth? Who's to say you won't miss the next one? So yeah, I just leave him out of it.
I hate that too because like I'm a mama's boy, but I'm not that type of mama's boy, right? Like those people fucking scared the shit out of me. That type of relationship.
You can love your parents and have a healthy relationship with them.
Yeah. Look, I'm taking my mom to a trip. It's gonna be a solo trip with me and my mom because she deserves a damn vacation. So I'm like, hey mom, I'm gonna treat you out for a trip. And to me, I'm just like, okay, that's kind of weird. This is me and I'm gonna be my mom, but like,
no.
In this situation, it's just like, God damn, some of these parents are like helicopter moms and they're attached to their kids. That's scary to me.
Yeah, that's different. Like Sienna's the same. She wants to go on a trip with her mom before before her mom can't go on trips anymore.
Yeah.
And she wants to go to Europe. So they're gonna try and schedule something over the next few years.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's the same thing though. It's like that's fine. That's a healthy relationship with your parents. It's, you know what I mean? Like you can still want to be friends and hang out with your parents.
This is weird
wild.
as fuck.
That's wild.
This next one's cross-posted by Mary Gets 2011 again. Two back-to-backs. A double episode. And this one's titled, Am I the Asshole for Not Letting My Wife Hijack a Free Vacation?
Wait, you didn't take your wife, bro? Like, if it's free?
If it's free, how's she jacking it?
Oh, maybe it's like one of those like agreed upon, like, hey, this is gonna be like a certain trip, like a boys trip or like a family trip, and just like, hey, can you just stay back a little bit? If it's specifically communicated, then maybe not the asshole for me.
All right. Sean looks less convinced by that. But
It just feels like husbands are usually on the wrong on this. What'd you say, John? You said asshole?
I say not the asshole.
Not the
maybe
asshole?
they communicate. Yeah, maybe they communicated that like, hey, this is my trip.
Yeah,
you can't be wrong twice in a row, right, Sean?
Yeah. I'm gonna go asshole. Fuck it.
Oh yeah. All right. So one of my 39 male hobbies is entering raffles, sweepstakes, radio contests, etc.
Caller number 9.
I've won tickets to sporting events, concerts, some household items, gift cards, but never a grand prize like a car or a vacation.
You know, I won a car once.
Wait, what?
But it was a fake thing. Like I won one of those mall giveaways. I said, you want a car?
Oh.
And then I had to like drive 40 minutes to like another city. And then it was a fucking timeshare ploy.
Oh,
I was like,
that's bullshit.
You motherfuckers. You said I want a car. You lied.
That
Is it the same people that sold you that damn radio that
fucking
blew up
speaker?
in your garage?
Probably.
Sean's always winning shit.
Dude, it's
Literal
crazy.
shit.
He never actually wins anything, but he does win.
So this was until last month when I won a free trip for 4 people to Florida for 5 nights. Obviously, I was super excited and told my wife, 38 female, about it right away. After our initial excitement wore off and we were beginning to talk about details, it became apparent we had conflicting ideas about this trip. Before I could even make suggestions about what I wanted it to be, my wife brought up about how excited her 11-year-old daughter would be and how we could go to Disney, SeaWorld, etc. She then said that we can bring her mom with her, to help watch her daughter so that we could have some time for ourselves. She was so excited about it and was getting wrapped up in planning things without even hearing what I wanted. I told her that all of that sounds like fun, but I was thinking that maybe we could invite another couple and have an all-adult only trip instead of bringing my stepdaughter and mother-in-law with us. She did not like my idea one bit and told me that she wouldn't feel right about taking a free trip like that and leaving her daughter behind. She also said that her mother has never been to Florida and this would be a perfect opportunity for her to go there. We argued back and forth a little bit before deciding to take a break and come back before telling anyone about it. Well, that lasted about 24 hours before my wife let it slip to our daughter that we had won a trip.
Oh.
Oof.
So, of course, stepdaughter immediately got excited about it and started looking into things she wanted to do. I asked my wife why she told her daughter, and she said it was an accident, which, come on. I started a fight between us, and emotions got a little high. I told her she was wrong to bring her daughter into this after we agreed to wait, and that I never agreed to take our stepdaughter or mother-in-law on this trip. I told her that I was the one who won the trip, and she's acting like this was something specifically for her. She told me I was being selfish and that we should include those closest to us in something like this, especially when neither stepdaughter or mother-in-law have ever been to Florida. She said that bringing another couple and leaving her daughter home would be cruel, especially now that she's so excited about it. I told her that her daughter is only excited about it because she decided to blab to her about it instead of waiting like we had agreed. I told her if she wants to bring her daughter and mother-in-law, then she can also pick someone else to go with her because I would rather stay home by myself than go on a vacation where I don't get to be involved on any decisions. I said if she wants to go that route, then she certainly can, but I'm not paying for any of it. We have separate finances. Now she thinks I'm a jerk and that I should be happy about a free family vacation. And then a quick edit, the trip is to Fort Myers, not Orlando. Am I the asshole?
Ooh, look, personally, on a personal opinion, I wouldn't like to, if I get a free vacation, I'm always going to take like family with me because that's just me. But in this scenario, this might be a hot take. I don't think he's an asshole at all. He set a boundary and the wife kind of just overruled what he wanted. Like it seemed like he didn't even get any say on the situation. And he specifically said like, hey, this is kind of what I want. This is kind of what I visioned to it. And she just kind of steamrolled past him and didn't even like consult before the accidental slip up. So yes, it would be nice to bring like those close to you, but it seemed like he had a specific vision for what he wanted for the prize he won. I'm gonna have to say not the asshole for me in this such scenario.
All right, Sean, where are you sitting?
This one's a tough one. Because part of me is like, everyone kind of fucking sucks in this story, to be honest. Like, everyone is not good.
Yeah, that mother-in-law is terrible.
Yeah, fuck her.
And that stupid ass kid who got excited about going to Disney.
Fuck them
how dare
idiots.
she?
Yeah.
I'm not even going to guess which button that is.
Yeah, because I get having your own vision, but I feel like
it's different when you have a family, right?
I think your wife is probably correct on the people that she is suggesting should go on this trip. I think those are the people that should go on this trip. Because you know what? I mean, again, it's up to the kid to treat you like a parent or not. And I guess not really truly up to you. Because when you married her, her daughter's part of the package. Whether she sees you as a father or not, you have to be at least like some sort of, I don't know,
figure.
At least take consideration of her at the very least. So to her to do, like, I don't even know who we're going to leave her with. But we're going to go with another couple like that. That seems kind of inconsiderate, but also the wife is also a little bit inconsiderate too. She really, if she accidentally slipped, I guess there's a possibility that happened.
Bullshit.
And that's a slip, but probably not is what I'm thinking. Probably not. She probably just said that on purpose to force your hand, which is not great. So I don't know. I think everybody kind of sucks in this scenario. I could see both sides where you're like, it's his trip. He should decide on who goes, but also he should be deciding on his family. So that kind of makes him an asshole too. And then she's an asshole, of course, for forcing the hand or trying to at least. So I don't know. I don't like anyone in here.
That's fair. I probably lean more with OP, strictly because of the quote unquote slip up. Like, You both agreed to put the discussion aside.
I was really on her side until that point, and I was like, ooh, I don't like you either anymore.
I was never on her side because she steamrolled her way in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's one thing to be like, oh, here's my vision for the vacation. And he can be like, here's my vision for the vacation.
It's just like nope.
I think it's completely fine to have differing visions of what the vacation could be. I think she fucked up when she told the daughter before they agreed on something. Like, that's shitty for you to do.
Yeah.
That's steamrolling the now he doesn't have a choice. You know what I mean? And I don't know, maybe he doesn't want to go on a trip with your mother-in-law, with his mother-in-law. You know what I mean?
But then he could have like suggested somebody else come and watch the kid.
Right. But I think that's part of the more discussion later on.
Yeah.
She
blew it.
Yeah, blew that. So, because, it's one thing to both come into that conversation with differing views, go apart, think about it for a little bit, come to a compromise later on. But that she didn't even allow that to happen. So, For that
Yeah.
reason, I think not the asshole. But yeah, I do agree. If it was me, I would probably take my family, but
Same.
everyone has different, views of what they want their vacation to be.
And I get where she's coming from too, right? Like, because she's also caring about those two specific individuals. The kid, obviously, you want to create those lasting memories with your children, and then the wife or the mom being possibly their first time going to Florida. Of course, you want to create memories with your parents too. But to me, that's why it was hard for me to kind of get on her side, because she kind of weaponized those, right? It's just like, okay, I'm using those reasons to like pretty much take over this whole shit. And to me, he kind of set a boundary from the very onset. Again, personal experience, I would definitely take my family with me, but I could see why he'd be upset about like not being able to see what he wants to get out of it, pretty much.
Yeah. All right. So most of Reddit deem not the asshole. Well, to be fair to Sean, everyone sucks is not a usual.
Technically,
it's
yeah.
not it's not as common on Am I the Asshole because it's a hot and cold.
Yeah.
So, I see where you're coming from, but most of Reddit did not.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Mutual Butts Squeezin said, honestly, I'm on OP's side. Wife did completely steamroll him and decide for herself what the trip would be after they agreed to discuss it further. She deliberately told her daughter to strong arm him into agreeing. Also, her plan is to bring her mom as a designated babysitter, which I also don't like, so they could have alone time, which was his original plan. Per the comment, the trip isn't to Orlando, it's to Fort Myers, which is a 4-hour drive away from the kids' stuff, like Disney and SeaWorld. The wife's plan would mean they're spending a ton of time driving on multiple days to get to places where they'll be waiting in lines all day to do kid stuff. This isn't a vacation, it's a hassle. Parents are allowed to want kid-free vacations sometimes. And then they go on to say, I also think people tend to way overthink the daughter versus stepdaughter stuff. My stepmom is my stepmom, and I still love her. Which I think is fair. In your case, there are other cases where that's, parents don't see their stepkids as their kids. We've read stories about that. So
yeah, every situation is different.
Exactly. So I don't know if that's a pretty blanket statement, but all right. Next one here, also cross-posted by Mary Gets 2011.
Oh my God.
Repeat. And this one is, am I overreacting because my husband seems to think he funds my lifestyle?
This is going to be another situation of your life would be so much harder without me. Hey, I'm thriving, actually. I'd love to stay apart. I'll go not the asshole.
Not the asshole either.
All right. So my husband, 39 male, and I, 39 female, have been married for nearly 10 years. We have a 4-year-old daughter. I wrote a graphic novel and finally found a publisher for it. I can't draw, so I paid a friend to illustrate it and another friend to do the lettering.
Oh yeah.
I paid for the entire thing myself, and my husband did not contribute to it financially, and I did not ask him for any money.
And what the fuck is he on?
I am also in my final semester of grad school, which I also paid for myself. I did not ask my husband for any money, and am working part-time. I'm set to graduate in May. My husband and I were talking about my graphic novel, and he mentioned about being a silent investor. When I asked him what that meant, he mentioned contributing to its completion. I told him that I paid for the entire thing myself, and that I never even asked him for money. He said, well, yeah, I keep a roof over your head. I was extremely upset, but it's true that he does make more money than I do, and that he covers the bulk of the household expenses. But I felt like he was belittling me and implying that my graphic novel was just a silly pipe dream. When I got upset, he apologized, then tried to backpedal and said that he was joking. I'm still really angry, though. I've been working on this graphic novel for over a decade. I'm set to graduate cum laude in May. Cum.
I was I was magna cum. Oh yeah.
I don't even know what that means.
I think summa's like the highest, magna's like middle.
Okay.
Then cum laude is the bare minimum, I guess.
And y'all know me, I wasn't coming.
Oh,
Catholic boy, baby.
Coming.
Catholic boy. Jesus. I've been applying to full-time positions and have an appointment with my school's career center to review my resume. I do the bulk of the housework and childcare. Hell, when he forgets his mother flowers and birthday card, I did it. I'm really angry that he seems to think he's funding a frivolous lifestyle for me when I've covered 2 of my own major expenses, in brackets graphic novel and grad school, and when I make sure our house is livable and our toddler is fed and clothed. My entire life, people have told me that I'm too sensitive and I need to lighten up and learn how to take a joke, but I really don't feel like it was a joke, and I'm angry about it. It feels like he's really downplaying all my hard work and not taking me seriously. Should I just let this go, or should I talk to him again?
I mean, you should always talk to your communication is key.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, yeah, that's
sure. That's an
I guess
easy one.
overreacting. Am I overreacting is the end of the question.
Well, I've said this before, but like, hard to say, like, you know, how you if your feelings are overreacting without like fully communicating it to him. You know, I think this definitely warrants a conversation. It sounds like he was just joking, but who knows? He could be for real trying to take credit, which obviously would be a stupid thing to take credit for. Because
can I hop in here for a second?
Yeah, go
like
for it.
I like with the joking thing, like a silent investor has like positive connotations. Like he's like, oh yeah, I'm happy to support you. You know what I mean? Like in my opinion, it's like, it didn't feel like he was like trying to take all the credit, or like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's
in my opinion. Anyway,
that's what I'm saying. Like it felt like a joke,
a supportive husband or something like that. Kind of.
Yeah.
Like,
because I
yeah.
would say, so I make the same joke sometime too. Like when Juliet, like, you know, all her damn accomplishments, that's all her.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'd be going up to her and be like, hell yeah, like I bought in, I vested in that shit, right? And I'm gonna reap off the rewards when you ballin' and stuff like that. So and to me too, like the husband, like when he got confronted about it, like he seemed apologetic about it. Had the husband like doubled down in this situation, be like, well, yeah, I fucking do all this shit. I mean, yes, he did say like, yeah, put a roof over your head, which is something that partners should be supporting each other regardless. But he didn't seem like to keep sticking it to her in that certain way. So I had also got a feeling that maybe it was just like a jokey joke that was kind of taken a little further. I just wish she talked to him about it a little bit more.
Yeah. Because I think you have a right to feel a certain way about it. But yeah,
of course.
Talk to him and be like, hey, it felt like you were like slighting my work or feeling like you were taking credit for it. And he could, because that's not what you said to him. and then he could be like, well, no, that's not, like, I meant like I support you or something like that. Like that could be what he meant. Truly.
Like, I was like your cheerleader this whole time. Like I was just being, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
Do I think she overreacted? I wouldn't say that. I think her feelings are valid because it's hard. It's hard to accomplish those big accomplishments. And sometimes, you know, when people like say certain things and it's like, okay, are you like devaluing like the hard work that I did?
Yeah.
Sure. I could see where the feelings can get to that, but talk first and really validate like what that really meant before I think you should have posted on Reddit, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's a good way to talk, like right through your problems on Reddit.
I mean, she's a writer too, so like,
you
know, that could possibly be a release for her as well.
Yeah, exactly. Here's the thing. I don't think you overreacted because truthfully, you didn't really react. You were just angry and kind of, it sounds like you're stewing on it right now, which is not healthy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Like as a podcaster, this is like, honestly, I understand where she's coming from. Like as an author or something like that. You feel a type of way sometimes when people are like, oh, what do you do? And I'm like, you know, podcast. And they're like, oh,
so you just,
it's like, oh, that had a bit of you know, judgment behind it. Sometimes it feels like, so
I feel like a lot of creative stuff is like, you know, not like the traditional, like, oh, I'm a fucking account manager or an account executive or some shit like that. But if you say something like, oh, I'm an artist, like I'm a painter, or this and that. It's for some reason, anything creative for me always tends to get some sort of frowned upon, which is wild because you need these types of avenues for the world to fucking function at some point.
So I'll ask you this, like, this is a bit of a meta question for you guys, but I had this early on when this was like, I started doing this full time, which I guess is a little different for you guys because it's like a part-time thing still, but because it's my full-time job and I was telling people about it, like family and stuff, they're like, the first question was always, oh, you can make money doing that? It's like, okay. I mean, yeah. Did you guys have that experience or have you had that experience?
Yeah, I don't know. Cause I don't really tell mostly it's people being like, oh, I saw you on it. Like, I'm not ever
Oh,
really
yeah.
like talking about it. And also I just don't have like a lot of family close by, like adults asking me what I'm up to and things like that. So, I mean, when people come up to me, they're mostly like, oh man, you guys must be doing really well, 'cause I see you all over my social media. And I'm like, yeah, we're doing pretty all right. Like, you know, enough to support one of us, which is great. You know, we talk like that, but yeah, nobody, I guess, 'cause it's mostly like people my age or, you know, being like, oh, like they already know that
They understand.
they understand that the money,
Yeah.
that like the internet is a valid job.
Yeah.
Content
Right.
creating.
It's like, oh, you're on TikTok or whatever. It's like-
They pay you on that? Well,
yeah.
actually, no.
They don't pay us on
Unfortunately,
that. No.
Actually, unfortunately, no.
Damn it.
Yeah. Yeah, but sometimes like
Follow our American
'cause, you know,
account. Sorry, we have one now.
We haven't posted it.
We haven't posted shit on it, but
Not
it
yet.
exists.
But yeah, sometimes of course it's like thing too, because like I full transparency, like and my mom hears this too. Like I help out my mom in certain aspects, and like, you know, because of the show and like the generosity of like our fans, like I'm able to support her in some way. So sometimes she's like, hey, why are you giving me this much? I'm like, well, you know, it was a good month. So like I want to share like the wealth with you too and help you out. So of course sometimes she gets weirded out by it. She's like, well, what the fuck, like how, you know? But you know, at
You
the
selling
same time
drugs again?
shit, you know, I have another wild story for that, but that's another,
Dear
that's another
God.
thing.
Yeah, that's a tease.
Technically
No.
No, save it for the Patreon. Save it for the Patreon.
A Tuesday episode.
so let's just leave it at that. But yeah, so like sometimes it's a little my mom gets a little weirded out by it, but it's just like, you know, it's a viable income for a lot of people, and you know, influencers and like all this shit, it gets frowned upon. But you know what, a lot of times it's media is ever evolving, right? And back then it's just like all of it is TV or radio, but now we have like so much different avenues. And I fucking love it when people say like, Josh, to be honest, I am so jealous of your life, brother. I'm like, if I could do this shit full time and not have to fucking hear a Zoom meeting calling me at fucking 7:30 in the morning, I would probably wake up happier every day. So, I mean, I always encourage people to get as creative as much as possible. And if you can make money out of it, more power to you. And I want that for us. So,
Hell yeah. Okay. That was just a question I wanted to pose to you guys. You know, because I feel this relates a little bit to our lives as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sakura Peachy said, I mean, looking at this another way, I have a side hobby that I hope sometime in the future will make me money. I'm definitely going to thank my wife for her support, even if she didn't contribute a single dollar. It literally would not be possible without her. Partner support in any different way, and if a person's partner doesn't, then that's a whole bigger issue.
That's what I was thinking of too, low key. Like whenever, you know, I'm not saying don't sign prenups. I think prenups are solid. In fact, me and Nancy want to get a postnup. But like, you know, whenever people divorce and there's no prenup, and then like, let's say Jeff Bezos as an example, people are like, oh, what did she do to deserve it? And I'm like, actually, probably a fuckload, probably more than you will ever fucking know. So like partners really do.
Had to marry Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
That's not enough.
Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah, you truly, I mean, OP would know what the husband has contributed, but like other people, like, you know, Nancy sacrifices just as much being married to a
Facts.
podcaster as I do being the podcaster. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like
100%.
the partners also have are huge helps in any creative endeavor.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or almost
absolutely.
any job too. Like just the support of your partner in
Yeah.
whatever job you are. Like,
Yeah. And I'll kind of go out of tangent with this one. Every single like promotions like I've had like in the military, like the first person I thanked was Juliet. I'm just like, okay, I would say like military spouse is the harder job than actually being in the military itself, because they have to uproot every single us.
Yeah.
Like being in like active during that time, like we had order, we had structure. Like this is what your mission is. This is what you got to accomplish day in and day out. For them, it's just like, we don't know where you're going to be in 6 months. So you got to uproot everything that you know and everything that you've like familiar with and get situated. And most likely they don't have a community. They don't have this. They're on an island on their own. Meanwhile, we got our own shit going on. So I always think like partners always have some sort of contribution. It doesn't have to be monetarily support or just being there for you, like, you know, to vent. That's a huge support enough as it is.
Yeah. 100%. All right. Moving on to the final story.
Ooh,
Cross
so the cum
posted.
story, baby. Let's go. The wet, baby.
No,
Let's
that's
go.
on Patreon.
I know. I'm excited for that.
I
So
see.
sign
Sorry.
up for that shit, people, because
Yeah.
I'm excited.
And this one once again by Mary Gets 2011.
A quadruple.
Yeah. Quad.
Caitlin Clark type.
And trigger warning for this one before we get into it for spousal abuse. So if that's not what you want to hear, and you're a patron, you get the fun wet story that Sean's excited for. So you can skip ahead to that if you don't want to listen to this one. For everyone else, we'll see you on Monday.
Be sick if we could also skip these ones.
Too bad, Sean.
And who's gonna say something about it?
Be pretty sick.
This one is, would I be the asshole for considering divorce after my postpartum wife physically lashed out at me?
Oh, this is similar to the coffee one. So I think
The
it's
coffee
safe
pot,
to say
yeah.
you were physically abused. I think that's
You're more than
that's-
welcome
that's
to do what you need to do.
a valid reason.
Yeah. Considering divorce is always a valid reason if you feel like it.
Yeah.
Threatened in any capacity whatsoever.
Yeah. All right. So I, 30 male, have been married to my wife, 28 female, for 2 years, and we've been together for 5 years. My wife gave birth to a baby a few months ago. Over the past couple of months, my wife has been having suspicions that I'm having an affair with my coworker, 26 female, who's on my team. I have reassured her many times that there's nothing going on between us. My wife has full access to my phone, all text messages, everything. She always suspects that whenever I come home late from work, I am cheating with my coworker, which I am not, because I am actually at the office working late. I constantly update my wife from the office, text her photos to try and convince her I'm actually working and not cheating. So yes, which is, it's shitty that you're working late when you just had a baby, but yeah, that's,
If they sound
I
American
understand,
and they
I
don't have
understand,
paternity
yeah.
leave.
Yeah. We talked about the paternity leave thing. Yeah, it's,
Fuck corporations.
yeah, 100%.
This is America.
So yesterday was another one of those days where I had to stay late at work. Work that day was extremely stressful, and I really wanted to get done quickly so I could go home. I forgot to update my wife that I was going to be coming home late and did not send her any text messages. When I did come home, my wife started freaking out, accusing me of cheating. She was sobbing really heavily, and when I went to hug her, she slapped me really hard. She slapped me so hard that I inadvertently started crying, and she immediately apologized a lot after that. I slept on the couch that night and have been pondering whether to seriously proceed with a divorce. I never thought this would happen. I love my wife so much. I just don't get it. So am I the asshole?
Ooh.
Probably not, right? I mean, it's pretty
I
similar.
know.
Yeah, it's
No.
pretty
Yeah.
similar to the coffee pot one. So, I mean,
It sucks it's a newborn. There's a
Yeah.
newborn in the equation.
postpartum situation, but you know, like we've seen in comments, like in situations like that, that's not really an excuse. You know, to act out. It's probably okay to have those thoughts. You know what I mean? Everybody has those thoughts. Like
Everybody has those days.
it reminds me of Scrubs
Mhm.
whenever Carla first had a baby, and then she was like, "Sometimes I think about throwing this baby out of the window." And he was like, "Oh my god!" Like he hugged her, and he was like, "That's okay," but in his mind, he was like, "Oh dear God."
Scared.
But yeah, so like postpartum, I mean, I can't even begin to imagine what that does to your hormones. But
No,
we've
not at all.
seen tons of comments where, you know, again, everybody's situation is different, but
Different.
it just
Yeah.
seems like, you know, there should never be a good reason for physical violence.
And I'm also like sympathetic over OP too, because he's probably not only exhausted
From
like
work,
physically,
but from trying to like
from work.
prove all the time, 24/7.
The constant reassurance of like, hey, I'm not cheating on you. I'm legit at work. Like, you know, having to take pictures at every single time, you might as well have your damn location turned on at that point. So
Sure.
I think it's
That's probably
very exhausting.
before all of this.
Yeah.
That location is definitely turned on. If he has to send
Yeah.
For
photos
sure.
of where he is at
That's
every
just
minute,
wild.
that's pictures is crazy. Especially if she
Yeah.
already has like access to your phones. Like she could see
Yes.
you're sending out work emails or fucking Teams messages or some shit like that. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you truly,
Yeah.
you're at work. So
Yeah. That's exhausting to be that.
tiring.
It seems like she has a set of issues like of her own, not only like postpartum, but maybe even before that, she has some sort of insecurity issues. And we always tell people, if they're adults, that's got to be on their own to figure that shit out, to like, get themselves checked or like get themselves some help. She seems like she does quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think asshole in this situation. I will say, like, I understand she's probably going through it as well, especially like
for sure.
Newborn, husband working late quite often. That's shitty. That's a shitty spot to be in as well.
Of course.
But never a reason for violence. If he did cheat, sure, a slap in the face, absolutely justified.
Oh, worse. Yeah, break his knees or some shit.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
I would. Crawl to your bitch now, motherfucker.
But yeah, like, so I understand her, stress and, feeling a type of way. So I get that, but yeah, not a call for violence. If, she doesn't really have anything to prove that he is cheating, anything like that. So like I said, I don't understand postpartum. I've never been through this. So there's a comment here that goes into a bit more detail that I thought would shed some light. Sparada1345 said, doubt you'll see this comment in the flood of comments, but I went through the exact same thing. About 2 months after my child was born, my wife was not herself, super paranoid, not sleeping, very angry at the drop of a hat, etc. When I tried to get her to the hospital, she hit me the same way. I had already done some research at this point and was about 100% sure she was going through postpartum psychosis. So I didn't take it personally and forced her to the hospital. When I say forced, I don't mean physically. I put up with the abuse and got her in the car in one of her calmer moments. When we got to the hospital, I was right, and she spent 2 weeks in the hospital and was on medicine when she came out. But we are now 10 months post-birth, and she is 100% back to normal, and our relationship is back to being rock solid.
Oh, okay.
Get your wife help first, make sure she is okay, and don't take anything personally. I don't know how your relationship was before the baby, but honestly, it doesn't matter. She is the mother of your child, and she is suffering. She could be a danger to the baby as well. I had some pretty dark thoughts during this time. Divorce was the thought about a lot, but it's not the right answer at the time you're in. I'm so glad that I got my wife back, and it sounds like you need to do the same thing. If there are still problems later, then that's a decision for you to make, but it's best to make sure she is okay first. So
this is a prime example of us just being out of our scope. None of us are dads. So like, truly.
Really question though, like, did they
Sure.
say something about like the insecurities were happening even before the pregnancy?
No, he said it started like a few months after the birth. Over
Then
the
that's
past
probably-
couple months, my wife has
that
had
could probably be-
suspicions.
That could probably be a reason, based on what that commenter put. And again, like
Yeah.
what Sean said, we're just dumbasses, and when
Yeah.
presented with information that's pretty valid, we are very quick to change
Yeah.
our stance on things.
Yeah, like I didn't even know that the psychosis thing was a
Me
thing.
neither.
I just knew
No,
there was
no.
postpartum depression, which was probably playing a factor into what was happening. But yeah, I didn't even know psychosis was a thing there. So
Same.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, like, abuse sucks, and it sucks that,
You have to endure it.
you have
take it
like,
sometimes,
well, yeah,
yeah.
it's terrible to be like, you should endure this. I mean, I guess if you want a divorce, you can, but it sounds like for the health of your baby and your relationship, getting
Try it
your
out
wife into
first.
the hospital is probably the better scenario.
yeah,
Yeah.
But it does feel weird being like, yeah, just endure the abuse for a little bit until you can get your wife to a hospital. That's a tough one to stomach for me, to be honest. But
True.
I get it. And it's a good comment. All right, that is it for this episode. What did you think, Wikimaniacs? Were these people assholes? Let us know down in the comments on YouTube, Discord, or our subreddit. If you want to hear more, please consider joining our Patreon or our YouTube membership program. You can go to patreon.com/cultivate podcast network to get it there, or hit up our YouTube channel and hit the join button. You can unlock bonus episodes as well as extra stories every Friday and Monday. And don't forget, you can submit your own Am I the Asshole stories to us on our subreddit, or cross-post your favorite stories to r/Reddit on Wiki. Thank you, Sean and John, for coming on and giving your takes. Thank you, Wikimaniacs, for another amazing episode. We'll see you on Monday. Bye.
later.
Is water wet?
Get therapy.